So how's it going, everybody? We're out in the shop, and as you can see from the first part of this video, we are working on the Damascus build. Now this one right here, we've got this awesome hand-forged Damascus. This is my first time doing really Damascus in general, and then my first time hand forging it as well. I really like the process. I can't wait to do a lot more. But what we're going to be working on today is we're going to go ahead and put the handle scale material on here. We're going to shape the handle scales, get an edge put on it, and get this build wrapped up. Now for the handle scales, we're going to be using this awesome burl right here, and I'm really excited about this. I've wanted to finish this knife for a little while, but scheduling, it hasn't worked. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to knock this out. Now, we're going to go ahead, get everything going. Tonight, I've got to get the scales cut down, get the front parts worked on where they're going to meet the ricasso, and get this stuff glued up to the knife. So that tomorrow, once this cures, I can go ahead, get everything shaped, and put an edge on it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do first night's process, and get this knocked out. Now I coat each piece individually so that I'm not trying to work around pins or anything like that. It just makes this glue up a lot easier. Now, I'm not cranking these down real hard or anything like that. I'm just snugging them up. You don't want to end up squeezing out all the epoxy on accident, so you just want to get it nice and snugged up and stop there. Now we're going to go ahead and clean off the rest of this epoxy that's on the ricasso. Just a little bit of acetone. You don't want to have to go too crazy on this because you don't want to risk taking any of that epoxy out of that little area right there. So we're just trying to get what we can out, get it all nice and clean. This is the reason why you don't go overboard with the epoxy whenever you're doing your glue up, because you don't want to have to deal with a whole bunch of squeeze out. And what I tend to do is I use the wet part of the paper towel first to get down in there, and then I'll use the dry paper towel to try and get any of that acetone off of there so that we're nice and dry. We end up with a nice clean ricasso area without a whole bunch of epoxy. Now we just need to go ahead and let this set overnight and cure. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Let's get a little close up on this thing. Check out those scales. You can't tell me that that just looks like wood. That looks like some insane, like jade stuff right there. These are absolutely insane. I can't understand it. I love this wood. I love the way this looks. I like our micarta pins going through there. They match real well with the wood grain that comes through here, the more brown and tan. And I just love the way this looks. Now, one of the things that I did a little bit different on it from the last video you saw, the last video, this had like a pretty intense contrast. You know, the darks were super dark, and I liked that, but I'm going to be using this knife not so much just as an EDC, but I'm actually going to use this knife for kitchen work and stuff like that. Probably going to be using it as everything from a steak knife to a paring knife to a little bit of everything, and then I'll probably carry it with me for a little while as well. I love this knife. Now, the reason behind me going with this finish on the blade there instead of that super high contrast is because, for one, if you do a real high layer count and then you etch it and you get that real dark etch on like the 1080, 1084, 1095 or whatever they use, if the lines are really thin, you've got a better chance of keeping that dark etch on there for a little while. But whenever you do a low layer count and you get that real dark etch and then you really use the knife, it's not really going to stay that dark with just acid etching or coffee etching. You know, that's a patina that you put on the knife, but as you use it, clean it, do all that stuff, you're going to end up having about this finish on your blade whenever it's all said and done. Because a lot of that darkness is going to go away. I wanted to go ahead and just get it to where it's going to be so that I can just use it and enjoy it. Now, if I was just going to have this as something that was going to sit on a shelf, cool. Leave it high contrast, let it be what it is. But I don't want that. I want it to be what it's going to be, and I want to be able to use this and have a lot of fun with this knife. So that's what I'm going to do. But what I want to know is what y'all think about the overall package here. Do y'all think I was right for going with this particular finish on it and having a nice dark maker's mark and it highlighting all the little, you know, areas that we have here? Because I think that this finish lets you see where the flats come up the top. They get the bevels in there. You get a good, nice, pronounced plunge line on something that's really not that thick. It still looks like it's got some nice thickness to it. It's almost like an optical illusion. And then those beautiful scales that we have there. Real happy with how this turned out. I don't think that this needed liners or anything like that. I think the knife speaks for itself. But again, I want to know if y'all think that I made the right decisions on this knife. But guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. Now, before y'all go away, remember, we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. We've got, and I don't know exactly which order they're going to happen, but we've got a two-handed drop point recurve chopper that's going to be a pretty insane build. Then we got a wakizashi, and I'm thinking that I'm going to do the wakizashi first because I've already got the stuff to do that. Technically got the stuff to do the chopper as well, but I think I'm going to do the wakizashi first because Dennis and Aaron, so Dennis from Taiwan Knife Works and Aaron from Alien Knives, they've both finished their wakizashis. I think it's about time for me to go ahead and do mine. So we're probably going to do that, and sprinkled in the middle of that, we're going to go ahead and do my first forged cable Damascus. And I'm basically making a billet for that that's going to be incorporated into a really cool knife that I have coming up in the future. And I think y'all are going to really like that one. It's going to be something that is just going to be crazy, and it's going to push the boundaries of what I've done up to this point and just hopefully blow y'all's minds. So we've got those coming up. But guys, that's the end of this one. If y'all would, Make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. At 20,000 subscribers, we are doing our giveaway. So we've got about 2 more Shop Talk Tuesdays to finish that knife. We're going to be doing the handle shaping next Shop Talk Tuesday. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and sharpen it, cut some stuff with it, and then we're going to give it away. So guys, thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.